Okay, are you excited about that real time? Let's get to the Q&A section so you can ask all the things that I know you're going to ask. So let's slow the chat, Max, because you know that's going to be crazy. And we have another contest. Now, the winner of the best question to Andrew, according to whatever criteria he chooses, wins a flask with our logo on it, which he will show for you in the Q&A section. So hang on, and let's make that
Holy shit, that's my
happen.
first question.
Okay, you guys are on. Go.
We're on.
Hey.
Hi.
So
Question.
okay, wait. First off, Dave, can you talk for everybody?
Hello. I can talk.
Yes, Dave is awesome. Dave talks. Okay, so second thing, as we have
All
been
three of you
doing.
slide like this.
Hi, Andrew. What's up?
Just put Andrew in the middle.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, JB has collision.
Dance, JV. All right, I did that now.
Intra-team collision confirmed. So, first off, as we've been doing, I have my Andrew's Elixir of Optimization here, and, we will be giving out another wonderful CSE flask to whoever asks the best question while we are in this, and I'm going to try and do a better job on paying attention on tracking that I did yesterday.
Can I have the flask does not win?
Yes. Do you think you could convince Genesee to wear a fake beard in an interview with you and Bryce? Actually, my girlfriend's been trying to get me to do that, so we'll see. Why was the beard pink? I like to mix it up. Okay, so real questions. Will there be any times when you will have to restart your client in order to patch? Yes, there will. For instance, if we deploy a new client.
And anything in the executable that changes, we're going to need to have you restart for that. But
Also, any associated DLLs.
Yeah, anytime there's a change in like the protocol that the client is using to talk to the server, that also requires a change. Okay. Lerdal, it seems like the system provides you with the ability to do dynamic events, not just static public quests. Are these thoughts in mind? Yes, in general. I cannot promise how many live events we're going to do. Like, this is a very player-driven game. We want you guys to be creating most of the changes in the world yourselves through your interaction. Will you be watching the server, seventh rain, will you be watching the server closely so as to not actively change a keep, for instance, that is currently being fought over? On internal test, the hatchery IT server, it's no holds bars. In general, for the actual live game, we're not going to do anything like that to intervene in a battle. Is there any reason you chose Perforce for your revision control? Git is cool. Git is awesome. Git has problems with huge binary assets of the kind you have in games. On the other hand, there are tools out there that are good for managing lots of hard assets, but the only thing that manages source and giant binary files both pretty well in sync is Perforce. As I like to say, Perforce, everything else is worse.
Well, Nixie and DK had one probably for Dave. They're asking about what kind of file and system we're using for the client for doing our live updates.
So client system. Yes, all of our live updates are handled through the patcher through a pipe. Windows pipes are a messaging format essentially. So the patcher gets its updates and it sends them. We just notify the client and then we send updates to this pipe and it updates all files locally. And then there's code to have the client actually handle reloading.
And what we use is a memory map
assets.
files for that.
No,
No, we don't.
no.
You know?
No,
Okay, never
but
mind.
yeah, the patcher's keeping like giant WAD file, pack files, zip files, whatever you want to call that kind of archive, and it's the patcher's running all the time in the background, and it just sends the data to the client. So it's a multi-process model. Yay, technology!
All right.
Let's see. If an asset is moved and it intersects a player or other dynamic model, what will happen? Stuff's going to get knocked around, basically.
Collision.
Collision.
Yeah. Will there be an appropriate bribe to get selected as a member of IT? Not touching that. How will you compensate netcode when a player is downloading a patch? Our netcode is pretty tight, and we do have the ability to throttle things, so there's not a there's not magic there. Just, hey, the game is running, reduce your speed. We haven't done that, but it'll be an easy thing to do. Will the ease of access also make it easier or more difficult for you guys to catch exploiters? It's really kind of neutral just on the ease of access. It makes us much more responsive to exploits too, and there are certain things that we're just been through this before, learned the lessons. All the files in the archive are checksummed and signed and everything else. So if you try and hack the archive, the patcher responds to damage the patcher responds to corruption and hacking as a missing file and just re-downloads a clean copy.
7th Rain asks, does this also mean you can change the weather and time of day relatively immediately in the same fashion as moving a tree? Yes.
Yeah, it's not a patcher thing, but we can.
Yes.
So Hatchery is your work in process server, which internal testers can access. Does this mean Wormling is the alpha server? Wormling, and will these servers be open? Wormling is kind of what we expect to be calling public test, 2 years from now while the game is live. Hatchery is Hatchery is our dev server internally. Like, this is the one we work on. When I go to film a video or something, like, I'm there. Like, we test combat there. Like, that's the thing that we use inside the office, and that's going to be up 24/7. Let's see. I'm just going to skip down because we are going to the. So one of the goals of the system to avoid downtime for maintenance. That's a secondary goal, but it just comes out of we really want to iterate more quickly. Obviously, the more quickly we can iterate, the less downtime for you guys as well. Are the packets all going to be encrypted? Yeah, again, lessons learned. Lessons learned many times. Yeah, I like crypto. A very well-worn copy of Schneier's Applied Cryptography and a bunch of other things. That was like my fun reading in high school. Yes, my beard is gray. Let's see. Who has the biggest god complex in the office? Definitely Tyler.
Those go around demanding hugs.
What would be the performance impact of sending textures to thousands of players at once? And is it going to cause overall latency with the game server? That is, it's no different from sending a texture to thousands of players at once when everyone, hits a patcher on patch day with a game that doesn't patch live. So that, it is what it is. You have to solve that problem if you're going to deploy a patch. In terms of impact on the game server, the patch server is actually a completely separate server. And the patch client that runs on your computer is a separate program from the game client. Like, these two systems run in isolation. The only place they really intersect is on your own computer. So what's the name of the alpha access server launching August 2014? That's most likely going to be Wormling. No absolute commitment on the dates.
So there's a lot of questions about events and live events and whatnot. And it's not something we've really discussed, but it can be used for that. Say we want to drop in Christmas trees at Christmas or something like that. We can easily do that with the system without having to restart the game. So we'd probably have like a specific system scripted for events when we do that kind of stuff, I would assume. So.
We use the same process to update Chromium. We already do.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
Chromium.
all one thing.
It's DLLs that come in through the patcher. Anything you guys are doing to help people with slow connections be able to get into the game quickly before it's all downloading, like downloading all necessary assets in the starting gate area? Yeah, that does work. The patcher pretty much, like, the client does, all the client knows is that it asks the patcher for a piece of data, and it's up to the patcher behind the scenes to get that piece of data for the client. And so
I can
You know,
prioritize it however I need
if
to.
it's on your disk, it will hand it over. If it needs to be downloaded, it'll get downloaded. If it's on the disk and it's corrupted, it'll recognize it'll basically just say, hey, my version of this file is out of sync with the version it's supposed to be. Maybe someone hacked it. Maybe it's just old. I'm going to download a new copy for you.
Yep.
Let's see. Will major content patches be launched this way or mostly minor changes? If major, couldn't this cause synchronization issues? So we have the ability to kind of pre-patch you and sort of flip you over. So that's how it works in advance. And we can require like, okay, you hit this certain gate. And that's the thing, like the patcher knows what files it's supposed to have. And so the client grabs the files and the client just says, give me file number 147, and the patcher says, do I have the right version of 147? If so, give it to the client. If not, download it and give it to the client. Let's see. When the game goes live, do you think? Well, you have times where you let the servers rest for a few hours. If we do, it will be driven by a gameplay kind of decision to have a quiet period. Our goal is 24/7 uptime. And we're working on some stuff right now to actually bring servers up and down without you knowing it and kind of do a handoff and then kill it. So that's going to happen. What's been the hardest obstacle you've overcome so far? JB, Dave?
Well, as far as this system goes, I mean, building it from scratch, I mean, that's just the amount of work that needs to get done to get all the different types of assets in.
There's a lot of moving parts that go together with this.
Yeah, I mean, this is like what I've been, every game where, be it War, be it Skyrim, I've just been like, looking at what went wrong, saying, how can I make this better? And the great thing about doing this game at City State is finally getting that blank sheet of paper where we're not like locked into something and say, okay, this is how it needs to be. So.
What issues have you run across with doing things in this way? Is it harder to maintain when you start adding new elements to the game?
No,
I guess-
no,
Not really.
it makes it easier.
Makes it easier. I mean, I guess some issues we have if somebody moves something. I mean, it moves it. I mean that's not really much of an issue, but I mean, you could like move something somebody's standing on.
Yeah.
But
So will there never be downtimes for patches? Just restart and you're ready to go. I can't guarantee never, but it's pretty close to it. I mean, obviously anything that has a new client exe, then yeah, you're going to have to quit your client. But we're pretty close to it. And I mean, it's really awesome for you guys, but it's so much more awesome just for us because it makes iterations so fast.
The artist can literally push a button and have it in the game 5 seconds later. Makes great. And even just for code, we push it through continuous integration. We push the button and we get our code on there. And we have people testing it within 5 minutes. It is fantastic.
if Andrew breaks the build, who plays the song to him? The panda still sings to Andrew too, but he enjoys it.
Yeah, you guys want to sing at me just once for all the backers?
Sure, you want to go?
Yeah, come on. Let me have
Which
it
one?
in stereo.
Andrew broke the build, and we must fix it now. I don't know the rest of the song because I put my headphones on and ignore it.
Even though it's on my desk. Which it does sit on my desk. Sometimes.
Have you attempted to break or exploit the patcher client, and if so, have you found security issues? We've made our best attempt. I'm, never say that there are no holes. Someone's going to find something, but again, the way it works is that damage, corruption, hacking is just interpreted as